Why has the Israeli-Palestinian conflict endured for over 7 decades, defying countless peace talks and international interventions? To understand this enduring struggle, one must dive into a web of history, religion, politics, and identity. A conflict where every inch of land tells a story and every border sparks a debate. At its core lies a battle over a land both Israelis and Palestinians call home. For Israelis, it is the fulfillment of a 2,000-year-old dream of returning to their ancestral homeland after centuries of persecution. For Palestinians, it is a fight to reclaim the land they have inhabited for generations, land they believe was stolen when Israel was established in 1948. How do you reconcile two peoples with such deeply entrenched narratives and emotional ties to the same soil? The conflict's roots run deep, stretching back to the late 19th century when Jewish migration to Ottoman-controlled Palestine began amidst growing Zionist aspirations. By 1948, with the horrors of the Holocaust fresh in memory, the State of Israel was born. But its creation came at a cost. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were displaced in what they call the Nakba, or catastrophe. This division of land and lives would set the stage for decades of hostility. Wars in 1948, 1967, and beyond redrew borders, but never the animosity. The 1967 Six-Day War saw Israel seize the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem, territories Palestinians still demand for a future state. But here's the twist: these territories remain fragmented, with Israeli settlements rapidly expanding in the West Bank, creating what many call facts on the ground. How do you negotiate peace when one side feels its homeland is being erased? But religion adds another explosive layer. Jerusalem, holy to Jews, Christians, and Muslims, remains a lightning rod for tensions. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, situated on the Temple Mount, is a sacred site for Muslims, yet also the holiest site in Judaism. One provocation at this sensitive location can ignite violence in an instant. Can two peoples share a city so loaded with spiritual meaning? The political landscape further complicates peace efforts. Israeli leaders face pressure from hardline factions opposing territorial concessions, while Palestinian leaders are divided between the West Bank-based Palestinian Authority and the militant group Hamas, which governs Gaza. How do you broker peace when one side struggles with internal divisions and the other is reluctant to trust? Economic disparities also fuel resentment. Israel boasts a thriving modern economy, while many Palestinians live in poverty, particularly in Gaza, where blockades and repeated conflicts have devastated infrastructure. For Palestinians, this isn't just a fight for land, it's a battle for dignity and equality. Even international involvement has added to the complexity. The U.S. consistently backs Israel, while nations like Iran and Turkey champion the Palestinian cause. The global chessboard has turned the conflict into a proxy struggle, where peace often takes a back seat to political agendas. But perhaps the biggest challenge is the loss of trust. For every ceasefire agreement, there's another rocket fired, another settlement expanded, or another tragic death that deepens the divide. How do you rebuild trust when every step forward seems followed by 2 steps back? And yet, the world continues to hope. The Oslo Accords of the 1990s once promised a 2-state solution, but today, even that vision seems like a distant dream. Some suggest a 1-state solution, but would it offer equality or simply new forms of tension? The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not just a geopolitical dispute. It's a collision of histories, identities, and dreams. Its resolution requires more than borders on a map. It demands addressing generations of pain and forging a shared future. But here's the question that keeps the world watching. Can two peoples, bound by so much history and heartbreak, ever find a way to coexist? Or are we destined to witness this cycle of conflict for generations to come? The Israeli-Palestinian conflict isn't just a dispute over land, it's a struggle for identity, justice, and survival. With every peace talk derailed and every violent clash reigniting old wounds, the question remains, can two peoples with such intertwined yet divided histories ever break the cycle? Is coexistence a distant dream or an achievable reality? Until trust replaces fear, the world watches, waiting for a resolution to one of humanity's most complex and heartbreaking conflicts. Will peace ever come, or is this a tragedy without an end?